Hey guys, what is going on? My name is Griefdrums, and today we are going to be taking a look at the second half of the Dustline Patch 3 update and changes. If you haven't seen part 1, make sure to check it out. There is a link in the description below. In the first episode, we took a look at the map, the new operators, the new customizations in the form of skins, headgears, charms, and stuff like that. In this episode, we are going to be taking a look at some of the general tweaks and improvements that have gone on in the game, such as bug fixes, game balancing, and other general improvements. So let's go ahead and get straight back into it. There is now no penalty points if you destroy a gadget. So if you put your armor down, there's only 4 members on your team have taken it, the other one's gone off roaming, you can now destroy that and it doesn't matter. You're not going to get penalized for it. You can now edit the playlist in custom games. You can skip the booting up sequence by pressing any button. And the options, activity, and squad menus have changed colour. They are now black, which, although it's not a massive change, it looks a lot sleeker and is pretty nice. I'll be the first to admit these are very minor changes in the grand scheme of things, but it does show attention to detail that is really, really nice to see in a game of this level. Too often a game is pushed out and then just left to its own devices, but with this the devs are still working on it and still improving it the whole time. As far as ranking goes, and I know this was a huge bugbear for a lot of people, your rank has been reset. In the first season there were a lot of issues of people getting penalised for leaving games when they were actually just losing connection. So as a result, they have reset all of the rankings to give a level playing field. Don't worry, your kill-death ratio and your win-loss ratio is still intact. So if it's any good, you'll be happy. If it's crap, sorry, best get working at it. As far as the ranking goes though, everyone has been reset, and now you will need to do 10 placement games instead of 5. This is just so that the server has a lot more information on your character and your playstyle, so that instead you get ranked more efficiently. If you abandon a ranked match now, you will get a 50% renown penalty, so you're actually starting to implement fairly decent punishments for those that keep leaving near the end of a game. Just to clarify, this doesn't mean that you're going to lose 50% of the renown that you've already got. It means that for a certain amount of time, you are going to get penalised. You will only get half the renown that you would earn. Now, in a previous video of mine called the Gaming Headshot Episode 3, I discussed hacking and cheating and whether the fair fight levels were harsh enough. To me, at the time, they weren't. They were weak, they were pathetic, and it wouldn't do anything to deter would-be hackers. Now, with Season 2, they have implemented a new escalation plan for cheating. On your first offence, you get a temporary ban for a maximum of 15 days. And your second offence, you get a permanent ban. They've acknowledged that cheating is an ongoing battle, and they do want to be clear that cheaters are not welcome in this game, so they are constantly improving. This to me is so effective. It's so much better. It's not going to stop it, and it's not going to eradicate it completely, but wow, is this a step in the right direction. Not only can you get banned for hacking, you can now get banned for toxic behaviour. This could be anything from offensive behaviour to racist comments. The levels of this work as first offence is a warning, your second offence is a 2-day temporary suspension, 7-day temporary suspension, and then a permanent ban for multiple offences. And rightly so. Now, one thing I want to discuss a little bit is the lighting in this game. Now, the lighting is something that the devs have had a look at. When you look in from a window from the outside to the inside, it was always very dark, and it was always the opposite when you're looking out of a window. It was always very bright. Now, they have improved the visibility when looking in and outside, apparently. It's a little less extreme, but it is still there. You can still struggle to see what's going on outside, but maybe this is something they'll look at a little bit more in the future. One of the best changes here is the gun occlusion being added. This makes sound a lot more realistic. You can now hear if someone is above or below you, if they're behind a wall. Previously, the sound in this game, it was beneficial to have a really good set of headphones or headset, but it wasn't quite right because of the way it permeated around the walls. Now, instead, you can hear if someone is on the opposite side of the wall. As soon as they fire that gun, you know where they are. So it is really, really improved. Other changes are things like the kill cam black and white effect has been reduced. The near-death visual effect, when it starts greying out your screen, that has been massively reduced. And the death animation has now been polished to an extent where your character will fall in a much more dramatic way. Especially if they're running and then they get killed. They sort of slide. It's awesome. A really nice tiny little change that a lot of people probably won't even notice is you can now shoot through car windows. If you're hiding outside the garage on the consulate level, previously you could just stare through the car windows at people and have a good old look where they were. Now you're going to die if you do that. On top of all of these changes, there have also been main bug fixes, but I'm not going to go into every single one of these. There have been 25 gameplay fixes, 9 level design fixes, and 4 miscellaneous fixes, which cover things like graphical corruption that could be seen. In total, this patch update is huge. I think it's 4.56 gigabytes. Now, a lot of people have been complaining that they've changed too much too quickly. I personally disagree with that. I think they have polished this game in such an effective manner, especially when it comes to the increased sharpness and the graphics on this game. The graphics have been updated, and the HDR rendering causes the game to be more contrasted and saturated. This game really does play nicely now, and there's so many glitches that people have been using that are now no longer there. Like on Hereford, you were able to get under the map, and stuff like that really irritates me. Yeah, find it, okay, great, but don't use it. Don't use it to get yourself further in the game. That's just shit, and it pisses me right off. If people on my team were using that kind of stuff, we would just team kill them and then kick them from the game. One fact that I have noticed about this update that has irritated me quite a lot is it is a lot harder to kick people from your team. If you've got someone on your team who is a complete and utter idiot, who isn't listening or who is just team killing, you should be able to remove them from your team. Very often, if I'm playing with 4 people online and there's 1 extra person in the team, we will probably be more effective without him, especially when he keeps castling us all in the same room. Having the ability to kick him should be in place, and it should be easier to do just like it was. The only reason I can see that they've done this is in case someone on the team chooses Blackbeard and someone else wants to play as them, they can't just kick them, which is understandable. I can appreciate that, but at the same time, I think that kicking needs to be there, especially if someone on your team is a complete and utter idiot. If you haven't already downloaded the Dustline DLC, make sure you do it now. Get out from that cave that you've been living in and sort your life out, because this thing is insane. It's awesome. The new characters are cool. The map is cool. This game is sick. I love it. If you have already downloaded the patch and you have been playing it like the rest of the world for the past few days, let me know what you think in the comments below. What tweaks do you like? What things do you hate? Do you think that they've changed too much too quickly? Are you pleased with the number of offences before being banned for hackers? What do you think of everything? Has Tachanka been buffed enough? Let me know in the comments below. As I said at the beginning of the video, I apologise for not putting this out sooner, but I wanted to take a look at everything, and I wanted to try it all out first before I start discussing it. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure to slap that like button, and if you don't already, make sure to subscribe. Until next time guys, stay reckless and relentless.